The fuck? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get going. All right, new all-time highs, baby. S&P, Dow just continue to push the threshold. I mean, we got a small pullback a few weeks ago, but nothing to speak of. You could see yesterday 280,000 on the on the jobless claims number. Great print. Definitely continuing to move in the right direction in U.S. Jobs data, U.S. Data just across the board. There's a few other things I think that kind of had the market excited. AOL was trading strong on the day. There are a couple other high flyers on the day that traded really well, and I think there's a lot of anticipation ahead of the Alibaba listing tomorrow as well. So just a lot of general excitement in the air in the on the New York Stock Exchange. It seemed like so. We'll continue to see what these boys are going to be able to do today with the IPO. A lot of the time when there's a major listing like this, guys like to say that it marks a bit of a short-term top in the market, but I don't necessarily think that that's what's going to happen. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see nonetheless. It's going to be one of the more exciting afternoons of trading today in the States. We'll have a couple of our in-house guys trading it locally tonight. Very exciting stuff. All right. Asia is up across the board. Last night, the Nikkei, again, just really front-running it hard. Obviously, on the back of yen weakness again versus the dollar, the exporters continuing to really buoy things. Highest level since 2007 on the Nikkei. We also had the Australia market up for the first session in weeks. The mining stocks there continue to be laggards, but definitely, probably a little bit of a relief just to see the Australian market up for a day, maybe the Shanghai up a little bit for a day, but the market in general in Asia, nice little rebound on the session yesterday, or overnight last night. All right. Charts of interest today in 2004 and 2005 rate hikes. And this isn't just going in tandem for 2004 and 2005. This is a perfect example for any rate hike cycle. Typically, when they start hiking rates, is not when markets start to react negatively. You usually have about a year period before markets tend to start to top out a year and a half period. So the start of the Fed hiking interest rates potentially in the spring next year is definitely not necessarily the start of the bear market. You typically have plenty of time as rates just start to return a little bit to normality. Remember, there's so much momentum behind the economy right now. They're going to be hiking rates to try to get in front of inflation, if anything. And so I think it's really important to remember that doesn't necessarily mark the top in the market. In fact, it probably won't mark the top in the market. So very important chart that we're looking at there. All right, there's no significant corporate action to speak of today. In terms of data, we have the Japanese All-Industry Activity Index, which is a touch softer this morning. We've got German PPI numbers, which came in line. French wages come out in just a second. When we've got the current account in Europe and the U.S. leading index, so pretty much nothing today to look at. Absolutely nothing that's going to move markets in terms of market data today. I would think. Obviously, this morning we've got a real push up on the back of the final numbers out of the Scottish independence vote. Obviously, the no vote has won, and we're seeing a big boost up in the FTSE this morning, up in the pre-market about 1%. We're seeing the pound obviously a lot stronger. They're actually both starting to come in a little bit over the last little while. But a very strong open looking showing there in London at the moment, and we'll have to see how we can play out today over there. Off the top of my head, when markets open up and they open up so sharply like that, sometimes it's nice to look for something to fade that doesn't deserve to be up as much as the market's up. So just keep that in mind today. All right, let's get into the maps here, boys and girls. Okay, first thing that we're going to have a look at here is the Aussie spot market. Just give me 1 second, excuse me. Yeah, so this morning you can see that little dot, where that little dot is there. That's where we opened up. We've gapped up in the future this morning, and you can see there, yeah, so up at 69,000 and change. We're actually up at 69,080 at the moment at the top. You can see we kind of breaking out of what has been maybe a little descending triangle here that we've had, and it's been running for 3 months. So this is, to me, I think is significant. I think that this one is one to watch. And it looks to me like, we've got some significant upside here. Maybe it's to as high as 48,000 by looking at this chart. Biggest mover we had in the market yesterday was Naspers, and it did it all in the last hour and change. This thing obviously only what I'm assuming has happened yesterday is that the guys who all had sold their other Chinese internet stocks or high flyer stocks to make way for some of the IPO for Alibaba, put in for big allocations in Alibaba and got a fraction of what they wanted from the broker. And what happened was they came very quickly to try to put that money back to work yesterday after they found that out. You can see here Naspers came right up, and before the close, actually closed down $10 in the auction, but it traded to 1352 or 1353 right before the auction. And that is major resistance, and Naspers was major support, now becomes major resistance. Actually, it looks a little bit head and shoulderish here, only looking at this now. If we move out to the right and fail at 1350, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I'm actually quite bullish on the stock, but this kind of potentially could be a bit of a left shoulder. If a right shoulder were to develop, we could be in a little bit of a head and shoulder setup. Like I said, it's way too premature to try to call something like that. I'm just throwing it, just mentioned it now that I looked at it. If we get above 1350, Tencent up 3% right now as we speak in Hong Kong. So it's going to be interesting to see how much. Obviously, we outpaced Tencent by about 6% yesterday. So I'm not sure what the open's going to do there. But if we get above 1350 and can push north of 1350, that's obviously very bullish for the stock. And I think we could see a push back to all-time highs rather quickly if we can hold that 1350 level. And look at Investec here. We're looking at the INP, not the INL. The chart will look the same either way. We looked like we were failing 2 sessions ago. We actually traded down to 96 or about 96.10 on the day there. You see that little wick. That was 2 sessions ago. Hard reversal yesterday. Obviously the weak rand is helping, but also just total outperformance relative to the other banking stocks of late. And we've really got a big breakout happening here in Investec, and a big target to look at as well. I mean, this target, we're looking to break out from 88 up above 99, and that gives us $11 a target on the upside. So our target's 110 on this move in Investec. I mean, it really probably has a significant move ahead of it. Might have to come back and consolidate first, but watch Investec. There could be a lot of meat left on that bone at a point. And Tiger Brands, I'm not 100% sure. I've been digging this morning because apparently some of the supermarkets haven't had the stock of certain products as of this morning. Asking all the guys, my wife put me onto this one. We dropped. This one traded really soft yesterday relative to the market, and apparently they haven't had some of the products haven't been on the shelf the last few sessions. I'm not sure what's going on there. The manager at the store told her there's a bit of a strike going on, so I've been investigating the whole morning. I haven't been able to come up with anything as of yet, but there might be a bit of a story there. Not sure. Either way, it dropped major support at 316. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it yesterday morning. We had really got confirmation later yesterday, though. Trading to as low as about 11.5. You can see there we've dropped support in a couple different levels here. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing kind of have given us a head fake to the upside and make a reversal back down to lows, especially if there is something going on there. And then Nedbank, the last one we're going to look at this morning, Nedbank on the 30-minute. Interesting setup here, potentially a little bit of an inverse head and shoulder with the neckline up here around, up here around 230, as you can see there, perfectly symmetrical at the 230 level on the neckline. If we pop above 230, you can see there definitely looking a little bit inverse, head and shoulder-ish, and with a big target, probably a target as much as 238. So keep that in mind. Good luck out there today, guys. It could be an interesting one. Lot to look at today out of the Scottish referendum. Going into the Alibaba listing, making new all-time highs on indexes. Futures closed out yesterday. There's a hell of a lot going on. So just tread lightly. That move we saw in Naspers yesterday was the kind of move that you rarely ever see in our market when there's no real news to drive the stock. So we could see some wild moves over the next few sessions. Wouldn't be surprised. That's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.